No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me?
Hey guys, man, if you watched that last episode, I'd like to apologize about how the music was going, and then cut straight to I overthink things. I did not catch that on edit. I watched the video on YouTube and yeah, I knew nothing about that. Alright. But I feel like I'm making progress on YouTube now. I'm making progress on YouTubing. I think I have integrated YouTube into my life in some way. And so I wanted to share that with you. And talk about progress. You know, progress for me right now is getting this video done, uploaded. But it's funny, progress on your end is different. Progress on your end is where this video goes. It's because we have two different perspectives. And it's funny, that kind of applies to everything, if you think about it. Progress is subjective because the perspective you have kind of determines whether or not you see progress, or at least what kind of progress you see. See, I had this. See, that's why I was. This is why this episode took so long. I've been trying to figure out what to say about progress. And progress is very interesting because, I mean, at least in this day and age, like, progress is kind of at the forefront of our country. Because in the past 8 years, there have been two distinct type of progresses made. If you think back to the election of Barack Obama versus the election of Donald Trump, it's funny. It's like two different and distinct groups of people felt like they made progress. Why? I think because of their perspective. Just like how you and me have different perspectives, and we see this video differently. I see a lens, you see a screen. So some people saw the first black president, other people saw losing this country. Some people saw an orange freak, other people saw make America great again. And so, progress, you know? It's interesting. And progress is also interesting in another way. Progress, if you think about progress and the choices you make and the path you go down, progress serves as your template, your guide, the way you make the choices you make about what kind of progress your life is going to have. If you see progress in one direction instead of another, then you might be inclined to take that direction instead of the other. Some people saw progress in Obama, and other people saw progress in Trump, and they took that path. It's interesting, because it's technically the same thing. It's the same concept: progress, moving forward, progress. It's interesting how the same concept can just vary between people. And it kind of reveals people. It reveals people, and it reveals their motivation and their inner convictions. Because progress, in its most ideal sense, is just a term. It's just a word that means a thing. It doesn't. It's not something that can be held accountable for I guess the election of Donald Trump or the election of Barack Obama. It's a word, and it's really the people who interpret the word and act on it. It's interesting. Why is that on my mind? I don't know. It's been on my mind a lot. I mean, this whole president thing has been kind of crazy. Honestly, I'm glad. In a small way, I'm really glad that Trump is the president. Not because of the race thing, but not because of the race thing, the money thing, the Mexican thing, the women's thing. Not because of that. Honestly, because I feel like Bernie Sanders should have been president, and so if Bernie Sanders didn't get it, then I didn't want Hillary Clinton to get it. And so I didn't vote against her. I just didn't vote. I don't know. And I feel like it's pretty fun now. Like there's a good chance that we're gonna see a president either get impeached, resign, maybe assassinated, maybe. Or, I mean, he's like 72 or 73. He might just, kick the bucket. So it's kind of fun. I think it's a lot more fun than if Hillary Clinton would have won. So, I guess, what do I matter? I'm just some random kid trying to post shit on YouTube. So, progress, that's what was on my mind, because I felt like in a way, I'm trying to make progress. This country is trying to make progress. Progress is arbitrary because, different people have different perspectives and they see progress in a different way. And all of that was kind of just in my mind. Progress is, can progress ever mislead you? Or can progress ever cause you a problem? Alright, here's what I mean. Like, if you see progress in a path, if you see progress because of your perspective, does that progress ever help you? Or does it ever influence your perspective? So because of the progress, you've made a choice. Because of your perspective, you've made a choice. Because of your perspective, you've seen a progress that has led you to make a choice. So if progress, in that example, progress confirmed your perspective. So you have a perspective, you see a type of progress, and that type of progress leads you to a choice. So the progress kind of confirms whatever, whatever you were feeling. And so, is it possible that that progress leads you down a very problematic path? If that progress always confirms your own perspective, then, it's really hard to see it's hard to see any other kind of progress. It's also hard to make any changes, because if your perspective gives you, if your perspective helps you see only a certain kind of progress, and that certain kind of progress makes you, only confirms your perspective and leads you to make specific types of choices, then you kind of make a loop where perspective leads you to progress. Perspective helps you see progress. Progress helps you make a choice. That choice confirms your perspective, and so on and so forth, and then you kind of end up in a loop. That's something I was thinking about. I mean, I think it applies for any sort of person, faith-wise, political-wise. If your perspective is always, if your perspective is the only thing that you factor in when you're making a choice, then there's a good chance the choices you're going to make are going to stay relatively the same, and you're going to have a hard time making change. So that was in my mind. That was just for the past, I don't know how long, that was in my brain. So, just got home from work. I worked I actually got to work during the solar eclipse, and so I was like, I thought, for some reason, I thought I was late for work because I didn't check any watches, and I just started driving out to work, and all of a sudden it got dark, and so I was like, I honestly believed that I was like, it was like 9 o'clock, and I was like, how was I? It was, I just left like 2 o'clock. How is it 9 o'clock already? And I checked my watch, and it was like 2:45. So I had a little bit of a panic. I have a pretty cozy job, so I don't want to lose it. Security, you should try it. You should definitely try being a security guard, because all you do is sit and watch cameras, and also YouTube. I don't mean like YouTube videos, but like watch YouTube videos. But that solar eclipse was kind of disappointing. I didn't really see anything. I saw the sun, and then the sun got dimmer, and then and then it was just back up to, scorching. So yeah, it's a whole lot of fluff for nothing. Well, that's my piece. See, if you know what, I'm gonna try to just at the end of every night, sit down and make this more personal, just more relaxed. Yeah. Because I am overthinking things. I always overthink things. Okay, this is video number, or Vlogee number 3, and it was about progress.